All right. Good evening. Peace, 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 peace. Oh, man. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you're feeling good out there. It has been a beautiful Friday for me. I hope it's been one for you. I'm Rami, the Moorish American. The class we have today, what we're discussing today, RV Bey Publications and Taj Tarik Bey exposed the Moorish sovereign citizen scam. We're going to get into the why. We're going to get into the facts and the evidence. Show it to you so you see for yourself. And then we'll talk about some solutions. Yeah, got the notes together. Put these in. Yeah, I'm all right. I think I'm all right now. Let me see. Check. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool for right now. I put them in if somebody join. Other than that, I think I just talk like this. Let me pull some information up so we can get to the facts, get to the evidence. And while I'm pulling it up, I know it's some Moors that may see this and say, well, why are you doing this, Rami? Why are you exposing? Why are you putting our business out in the street, not in the public, Rami? Why are you always talking about Taj, Rami? Some valid questions. I've answered them, but I can answer them again. It's no problem. And that reason is that Taj Tarik Bey and his more sovereign citizen teachings over the past 40 years have harmed thousands of people. You know what I mean? Families, uh, men, women, children, elders. It's unfortunate, and some of the teachings, um, people have taken them and become radicalized, and as a result, have even been killed because of those kinds of teachings. So, to answer your question as to why, for those that are wondering, it's because I don't want uh, any more brothers and sisters to be hurt. And when you know better, when you those that know have an obligation to teach those that don't know. And because I am now aware of this scam and I'm getting a better understanding of how it's all working, uh, it's an obligation and a responsibility for me as a Moorish American to help clarify and warn people against these scams. I can't expect European people to do that. You know what I mean? That wouldn't make sense. I can't expect our Mexican brothers and sisters to do that. I mean, it would be great, but that's not their responsibility. That's on Moorish Americans. At least that's how I feel. I hope that answers the question. I actually, and I also wanted to show an email. Cool. I wanted to show an email for another example, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to give away this brother's information, so I'm just scanning the email to make sure before I pull it up on the screen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. It's good enough, and then we'll get into the information. Oh, I'm not even in the right screen. My fault. 1 second, y'all. Peace, 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 peace. There it is. Okay, I was in the wrong studio. We pulling up the screen. Let me pull up RV Bey Publications. And some people may ask, well, why are you targeting RV Bey Publications? Why are you after them, Rami? what they haven't done anything wrong. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I must shout out Mantis Views 29 for the inspiration. Thank you, good brother. Let's see. Can I pull this up here? Let me zoom in. Bam. Oh shoot. Okay. Cool. Don't show no personal information. Cool. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Boom. Okay, so this is just an example. I just wanted to show y'all another reason for why I'm doing this. I get emails like this from time to time, uh, and it says the brother emailed me and he said I can read the top without his name. Oh shoot, I can't. I just start from there. I ran across your YouTube channel a few weeks ago, and from what I seen, you are one of the few people online that seem to be really trying to do things the correct way and work toward the what the MSTFA was initially founded for. The MSTFA being the Moorish Science Temple of America. I do have some questions that I'm hoping you can either answer or lead me to where I can find the answers. Question one: is Khalifa Media in any way associated with RV Bay Publications? Question two: what is the website for the official Moorish Science Temple of America? I found one that I believe is the correct one, but with so many different organizations out there, I just want to be sure. The site I came across that I believe is correct is moorescienceTempleofAmerica.org. Question three: if there's no official branch temple in my area, how can I progress in learning the correct knowledge and have the brotherhood of a branch temple to attend? I look forward to hearing from you. Shout out to that good brother for asking me those questions and the people that reach out to me outside of this brother to ask me questions like that. And I responded to him. My point in reading that is that there are many people out there that sincerely want to better their lives, follow the information and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, become a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America the right way. They don't want to get mixed up into any of the nonsense. But if there's no one that's bringing clarity on what a true Moorish American is and what these Moorish sovereign citizens are, if there's no distinction between, what right Moors or true Moors should be doing and what these other rogue Moors and rogue Moor organizations are doing, then people get lost. And a lot of people end up following the teachings of Taj Tarik Bey instead of following the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. A lot of people end up going to RV Bay Publications and getting themselves entangled in that web instead of becoming a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America and helping to uplift fallen humanity and become better citizens of the United States of America. So that's, in a nutshell, part of the reason why I'm doing this. And before, because I have RV Bay Publications, the website pulled up, but what I wanted to do actually before I got to that is go to this video I found. That's why I was a couple minutes late. This video I found of the person responsible for RV Bay Publications, and you can hear for yourself a bit of the history. So let me pull that up. And I want to say, because I don't want it to get misconstrued, uh, because I am going to be a bit critical. This is no disrespect to this sister, mother. I have a mom as well, so you know, I do. I am working my best to be respectful of everyone. That being said, we have to be honest. We got to be truthful, um, and we cannot continue to mislead people. Um, we have to be responsible. You know. So let me see here. Bam. Yeah, I think it was about here. Let's see here. Oof. I tell you what, for the folks that are making the comments, I would love to have you on and discuss things once we get to that point. Let me get this information up though. Let's see here. Let's get this video first. I think this is about right.
Distributing him, and I just couldn't wait for him. And so I wanted to be clear that I was just a reader. I didn't join the group or anything like that. I just enjoyed the reading, and it helped. Now, after all of that, and I came into the Moorish information, was that I attended classes with that over 20 years ago now, given by Valor El Harry Bey, right, at Camden. I know that she, I think, started in Philly, but she was in Camden. So I came in at that time in Camden, New Jersey. And then after that, I volunteered my services to assist with the layout and design of several newspapers, Moorish newspapers, such as the already existing Al Moroccan Star and the newly formed Moroccan Light, which was distributed out in California. The Civil Alert newspaper, that one was with Stabir. The Moorish Civil Letter with Abdullah Bey.
Just wanted to pause here and just mention, she mentioned Sabir Bey, which is another person connected to Taj Tarik Bey. This all a part of this network creating this more sovereign citizen scam. So just wanted to mention that, but let's continue.
And the Meridian Press newspaper, which was another local paper but I did all of that when I came in as my contribution to this moving information. Then in really R.B. Bey Publications, the concept of it was established the moment I came into this information. It's R.B. Bey Publications. It wasn't a website until 2008, but it was existing prior, as well as the books. And then in 2006, established the MHHS, Moorish Heritage and History School classes at New York. And that started in August, actually. And if you want to know how that started, it was myself, Taj, and Grand Sheikh Nature El Bey. And we used to travel around, and I'll never forget, it was in August. And he said, let's just go to New York and set up a table right there at
I don't want y'all to miss that. This is where she mentions being connected with Taj Tarik Bey, and also a person named Nature El Bey, which I'll bring up shortly as well. I just wanted to run it back real quick.
Grand Sheikh Nature El Bey. And we used to travel around, and I'll never forget, it was in August. And August, actually. And if you want to know how that started, it was myself, Taj, and Grand Sheikh Nature El Bey. And we used to travel around, and I'll never forget, it was in August. And he said, let's just go to New York and set up a table right there at 125th and 5th, the infamous juice bar. And so we did that. Like, instead of traveling, let's just go take a little break. And then that led to being in New York. And then from New York, and with the assistance of the people there and the interest of the people there, we ended up going into Jack's place. And then from there, we, Bambaataa, had obviously connections with the National Black Theater. And we got into the theater. And that's exactly how it works. Now, at that time, of course, Nature, he had his temple. And, I actually hail from that temple. And then, of course, with Taj, he's always doing things, all of his, sojourn, I guess. So that was me that had to hold down the class. And we had a lot of fun over the 12 years, and we had a lot of experiences. Then
Oh man. Oh man. I forgot that she said that. She said that she was a part of Nature El Bey's. She identified him as a Grand Sheik, and she was a part of Nature El Bey's temple. And this all is a part. This all goes into the Moorish sovereign citizen scam. There we go. It's all being built in, and it's an intricate web if you're not understanding what's going on. So I played that to just give you kind of a backstory from, the owner of RV Bay Publications' own mouth about the history and how it was created. And she mentions several figures, Sabir Bey, this other lady she mentioned, Valera Bey. I don't know if it's the same person, so I'm not even gonna play that video. But anyways, another of the individuals is Sabir Bey, who's connected to Taj. She also was working directly with Taj Tarik Bey, who has been, one of the most central figures to push this more sovereign citizens scam stuff, and also Nature El Bey. And I'm highlighting Nature El Bey. Let me pull this up. The actual court document. Let me think. What did it say? Court document. Hopefully it come up. Case text. Perfecto. And I just want to make sure that it's highlighted so you can see. But if you notice, and you can play it back and you can check for yourself, in all of the newspapers that she mentioned and these other organizations that she mentioned are all of these things that she established outside of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And to prove that, because some people may say, oh, well, no, she said she was in the temple and it was Grand Sheik Nature El Bey's temple. And see, this is where part of the fraud comes in, because it did say Nature El Bey's temple, but the actual temple is called the Great Seal Moorish Science Temple of America, which is not the temple that Noble Drew Ali created. This is a completely different organization that I presume was created by Nature El Bey, possibly some other people. I don't know exactly. But the fact remains is this is an organization that is completely separate from the Moorish Science Temple of America. And this is exactly how these Moorish sovereign citizen scams happen. These individuals like Taj Tarik Bey, and unfortunately Nature El Bey and RV Bay Publications, they create these rogue organizations and rogue groups. And as you can see, a rogue temple. But they use some of the language, some of the titles, the literature, the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, and they mix it in with their own beliefs, a lot of the times their own, these sovereign citizen tactics. And they present it to the people as quote unquote more science. And when you have individuals and people, young people particularly, who don't know any better and they're coming in and getting this information, they think and they believe, like myself at one time, believe that, oh, this is legitimate because Taj Tarik Bey is calling himself a Grand Sheik, and this person is calling Nature El Bey a Grand Sheik, and that's the title given. And they're saying that this is more science, and they're quoting Noble Drew Ali, so it must be correct. And if you don't know any better, and because no one is clarifying that that is actually a scam, then a lot of people get caught up in this nonsense. So I just wanted to show this Great Seal Moorish Science Temple, and then also let me just show the connection to Nature El Bey so you understand, because this was Dang, where is it? Here we go. Lord Noble Nature El Bay. Can y'all see that right there? Lord Noble Nature El Bay. So I don't really want to even get into the specifics of the lawsuit, but just understand it was a typical sovereign citizen type uh, lawsuit. You know, is involving sovereign citizen tactics, and I'll get into some of those in a little bit. I wanted to get into the website so that you could see. Matter of fact, actually, before that, I wanted to, since we're on Nature El Bay, I'll go ahead and show an example of what I mean in terms of mixing in the information. Let me see if I can find that video once more. And if you don't know better, you can easily get tricked into believing that it's legitimate when it is not. Yeah, I think this is about right there. Let's see here. Now, if there is individuals, you know, the RV Bay publications, if they want to come on live, I know it's a little late, but if they are available and want to come on live and discuss, you know, with me directly why I felt this way, or not even, you know, the information, not necessarily my feelings, you know, please join the conversation. All right, I think this is the section. And so this is Nature El Bay.
The simulcasting of the
Yeah. This is Nature El Bay with Taj Tarik Bey. Let me fast forward. Let me see here.
Our families, our meetings, our information, etc.
Yeah, here we go.
Islam. So the subject matter of the today is going to be dealing with UCCs, explaining what they are. We're also going to be addressed in.
Now, if you didn't hear that, he said, do I need to rewind? Let me just rewind it one more time. Just make sure you heard that. And this is supposed to be a temple meeting. And listen very carefully to what he says is the subject of a temple meeting. Now, if you're just hearing the temple and you're seeing the flag and you're hearing Islam and he's being referred to as a grand sheikh and it's titled a certain way, then you may believe that this is a legitimate grand sheikh and these are legitimate teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you don't know any better, you could easily believe that, but this is why we're here today, to clarify the difference. Listen one more time what he said.
Is going to be dealing with UCCs, explaining what they are. We're also going to be addressing the obligation of the county recorder's office. We're also going to be addressing the misclassification of the race. And not just having knowledge or saying that we know what this means, but also applying this to our everyday struggle. Because these are the major components right now that's really stagnating us from exercising our life, liberty, and pursuit to happiness. And also, these are a lot of the questions and the phone calls we get every day of the week pertaining to these issues. So we want to kind of address this. I don't want to say for once and for all, because we're going to keep addressing it. We have to. But we at least want to address it with further information that you can research, and that way won't.
That's enough. My point in there was just to show the connection between Nature El Bay and Taj Tarik Bey and what they were teaching. UCCs, but not just the knowledge of UCCs, but how to apply them. He listed several other things. The point being, all of that, including UCC and how to use UCC in your everyday life, is nothing that Noble Drew Ali taught. It's nothing that the Moorish Science Temple of America is about or represents, and it's nothing that true Moorish Americans should be acting on or applying or promoting or supporting in any way. But if you don't know that and you believe that Taj Tarik Bey is a Grand Sheikh, which he is not, that is a lie, just for those, just to be clear. He's not a Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and neither is Nature El Bey. But if you believe people like this are legitimate, then you can easily be tricked into adopting these sovereign citizen or more sovereign citizen beliefs and acting on them. So now I just wanted to show that connection between the R.V. Bey publications that she spoke about being in Nature El Bey's temple. And then you see that Nature El Bey's temple is actually not a Moorish Science Temple of America, but a Great Seal Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc., his own organization. And then you see the connection between Nature El Bey and Taj Tarik Bey, and you hear an example of one of the sovereign citizen teachings that they were pushing in their quote unquote temple meetings. You see how it all gets mixed up and confused, and you may get wrapped up into believing that this is legitimate teachings when it is not. Now let me go to R.V. Bey. Matter of fact, because I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody wanting to join the conversation, but I know I meant to address this at the beginning. I know that there's going to be these sovereign citizen Moors or more sovereign citizens that still believe and follow and sometimes worship Taj Tarik Bey. So they're going to say things like, oh, the sovereign citizen is what's the term? It is what is the term? Sovereign citizen is it's like when it, how did I forget it that fast? But they give excuses to try to say that, oh, they never use the term sovereign citizen. Don't call them that. You can't find it in the law dictionary. So I wanted to, let's erase all of those excuses. Whether or not oxymoron. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm like, dang, how did I forget? It was like it's opposites. Thank you. Oxymoron. One of the excuses that you may hear more sovereign citizens or sovereign citizen Moors, they'll use, oh, sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. Sovereign citizen, where can you find that in the Black's Law Dictionary? Sovereign citizen, there's no law against that. All right, whatever you want to say about all of that, we do understand that law enforcement has sovereign citizen as something to classify people with. And with that, they have associated types of activities and beliefs that sovereign citizens espouse. That's not my belief. That's not up for debate. That is an actual fact. And law enforcement officers and agents are trained in how to deal with sovereign citizens and the actions of sovereign citizens. Again, not up for debate, not up to your interpretation or your belief. Whether you agree or not, that's what's actually happening. So, whatever your belief is about the term sovereign citizen, understand these actions and these beliefs that I'm about to show and speak about. These are the things that will get you identified by law enforcement as a sovereign citizen or a Moorish sovereign citizen if you identify as Moorish, whether you believe it or whether you agree with it or not. Don't get mad at me for presenting the evidence, because I want people like the brother that I showed earlier with the email. I want him and sisters and people out there that are honestly and sincerely working to better themselves. I want them to understand, don't get mixed up in these scams. Don't get caught up in any of these kind of teachings, because it will get you into trouble. Hope we're clear on that. I wanted to pull up the quick guide to sovereign citizens just to show some terms that speaks to what I was just referring to. And I'll drop the link in there. You know, I ain't trying to hold the link from nobody. Make sure people got the link in there. Bam. All right. So you can see it for yourself. Boom. And the note. So this is a quick guide to sovereign citizens, revised November 2013. So this is this 11 years, almost 11 years ago. And it says, note, much of the information for this paper was provided by detectives Robert Finch and Corey Flowers of the Greensboro, North Carolina Police Department. And then also Amy Funderburk of North Carolina Administrative Office of the Courts, and David Adinolfi, pardon me if I mispronounced that, of the NC, North Carolina Attorney General's Office. So again, we're talking about law enforcement, people who know the law. They give you a brief description of what a sovereign citizen is. And let me read it for you. Oh, dang, where I just see Moorish Nation. Oh, man, I just saw that somewhere. I know where, on RV Bay Publications. So, boom. What is a sovereign citizen? Let me just read this real quick. Can y'all see this? Let me zoom in. Oh, okay, I know what I got to do. One second. Pardon me. We'll drop this down. Bam. Okay. What is a sovereign citizen? Sovereign citizen is a catch-all phrase referring to a variety of anti-government individuals and groups who share some common beliefs and behaviors. The organizations to which many sovereign citizens belong have a variety of names. The first name that they list is Moorish Nation. All right? And let me be clear. Noble Drew Ali never created an organization called the Moorish Nation. He created the Moorish Science Temple of America. But it goes on to say the Moorish Nation, the Aware Group, the Washita Nation, which is connected to another rogue group of Moors. They created their own thing. The North Carolina American Republic, Republic of the United States of America, ETC. They give a bunch of names. So it gives, that's the summary of what is a sovereign citizen. I'd advise you to read it for yourself, to read the whole thing. But I just wanted to highlight, come down to the key terms. They have like a list of terms. And I wanted to highlight so you can see for yourself some of the terms that's on here. And again, just go back and check out some of Taj Tarik Bey's teachings for yourself. Oh, right here they have two of the most prevalent sovereign citizen groups in North Carolina are the Moorish Nation and Washita Nation. See, Moorish Nation adherents may refer also to the Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Republic, United Nubian Nation of Moors, Moor Republic, and other variations. You see how they link the Moorish Science Temple with their sovereign citizen organizations, which is wrong, which is why we have to make clear the distinction between the two. Dang, where is the... Oh, okay, here buzzwords. That's what it called. It wasn't keywords. It was called buzzwords. So these are some of the unusual words or phrases that are commonly used by sovereign citizens reflecting their beliefs. Some of the words are legitimate legal terms in the proper context, but are meaningless in the way they are used by sovereign citizens. For example, the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, indeed exists and is important law for commercial transactions, but it has none of the purposes ascribed to it by sovereign citizens, like what Nature El Bey was speaking about and going to get into in his lesson. We just didn't, listen to the whole thing. So some of the terms that you can see here: straw man, de facto government. That's a major one that Taj uses all the time. Conveyance rather than vehicle. Traveling in a private capacity. References to UCC. Sejurus. Traveling in a commercial capacity. El Bey, we just heard Nature El Bey. That's another one. And matter of fact, unfortunately, the young man that was killed in Florida, I'm almost certain that he had El Bey on his name as well. Who is the victim is a term you may see more sovereign citizens use. Common law, man on the land, accepted for value. Where is your oath of office? That phrase right there is definitely one that Taj has echoed often. Let's see, affidavit of truth, UCC-1-207. That right there, those things, silence is acquiescence, requesting an official's bond, fiduciary, those referring to the government as a corporation, those terms especially. When you go back and just go back for yourself and listen to Taj Tarik Bey and his beliefs and see how many times he references these buzzwords that are connected to sovereign citizens. And you see that it's clear. But now let me close this, get that up out of there. Okay. This person here says, Lee Bey says, I have a photo of Grand Sheikh Taj Tarik Bey at the Moorish Science Temple of America with his fez on at the pulpit. One, Lee Bey, Taj Tarik Bey is not a Grand Sheikh. That's a lie. And he says it, but that's part of his fraud. That's part of his scam. Secondly, you having a photo doesn't change the fact that this is a more sovereign citizen scam, and these are the tactics and the information and the phrases that they use. But it's cool that you have a photo. I'm gonna get back to this. RV Bey. Now let's go to the website. Now, and again, if the gentleman that was standing up and representing RV Bey Publications last time, if he would like to show up, be more than happy to talk to him. I can again demonstrate the manipulation that these kinds of individuals and how they use some of Noble Drew Ali's teachings and mix it in. What did I want to show on this site? On this part right here, it was, this is part, they have a whole lot of classes and products and things for sale, which is, the basis of the scam. They want to get some money. I wanted to point this out right here, Circle 7's Sunday Quran class with Miss J. Bey. Now, respectfully, I don't know who Miss J. Bey is. But as a Moorish American, as someone that wants to actually learn and study the Circle 7, the Holy Quran, that's the book that Noble Drew Ali presented or Ali brought forth for Moorish Americans, then you should be going to the Moorish Science Temple of America, not, with all due respect to Miss J. Bey, because I don't know who this person is, what their qualifications are, what they're connected to. And there should be no reason that you aren't inside of the Moorish Science Temple of America if you're going to be teaching the information that came from the person that created the Moorish Science Temple of America. But that's part of the scam. These people have created rogue organizations outside of the Moorish Science Temple, and they create their own rules and inject their own beliefs. Oftentimes it's sovereign citizen stuff. So you have to be careful about following these folks. I didn't want to stick too much on this, but I wanted to, it's something on this page that I wanted to highlight. Right here, they tried to make a clarification that they were not connected to the consular court. but they were. I don't want to get too deep into that, but the consular court and the Moorish American consulate, that was another rogue organization trying the Moorish sovereign citizen beliefs. Taj Tarik Bey was connected to that as well. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. Right here, right here, right here. Can y'all see that right here? This is on the front page. This is on the home page of their website. This is a good time to make a reminder. Governments are companies, corporations that have no authority over natural flesh and blood beings. This right here is a classic example of the more sovereign citizen beliefs that governments or corporations and they have no authority, or you may hear they have no jurisdiction over you, and thus you are sovereign. You are not held to any government's laws, because all the governments are corporations, and you don't have to subject yourself to that authority. These are the teachings of more sovereign citizens. This is not what I believe. This is just what more sovereign citizens believe. And these are the things that Taj Tarik Bey, Sabir Bey, Nature El Bey, these are the kinds of things, RV Bey publications, as you see here, that they propagate and promote and teach as if it is official teachings from Noble Drew Ali. And that is the problem. Let me just get to a couple other. Oh, I wanted to, yeah, this is what it was. Oh, perfect. You see this here? Here we go. Our affiliates, we'll get to the bottom part right here. Our affiliates are Moorish Heritage and History School, MHHS Wide Open, Moorish National Public Records, Mantis Views 29. But then they have down here, RV Bey Publications is not an MSTA. RV Bey Publications does not take memberships. RV Bey Publications is not a 501(c) establishment. It's kind of like you got to read the fine print, because that's all the way at the bottom. You see, when you get to the top, what to study about Noble Drew Ali. You saw at the top they had the Circle 7 Quran class. Oh wait, I forgot that website has the sound. How can I turn that off? Let me think on that real quick. What was I saying? They say in one respect, oh, we're not an MST of A, but they have all the information from Noble Drew Ali and his teaching and his literature. And they're saying, oh, this is what Noble Drew Ali, what Moors are supposed to do, that he's our prophet, and we're honoring Noble Drew Ali, and we're doing this. That is part of the scam. Because then they give you the impression that, oh, we're legitimate, even though we're not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But they're not legitimate, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be clear on that. You need to be careful. Let me see, because I don't want to have that sound blasting. Oh, wait. Can I do it right? I'm not going to go to that page right now. Matter of fact, let me open it up on another one. Let me go to another example of the sovereign citizen tactics. Where was it at? Here we go. Failure to identify. Here goes under their section failure to identify. The first thing it has is a notice to all law enforcement. Nationals or citizens are not required to show identification to a police officer. This is where you get those videos of Moors in those interactions with police officers, saying, I don't have to show you identification. I am such and such, or, whatever kind of ideology or beliefs that they espouse, it comes from the foundation of it is from these kind of sovereign citizen beliefs right here. And then they cite all of this case law, and this goes back to that the sovereign citizen website, where it was explaining how they may use legal terms that are actually legitimate in legal cases, but they don't use them in the proper context, and the way that they use them is completely bogus. What? I appreciate that comment, Prince of Diamond. Yeah, like, oh man. I wanted to see if it was one other thing that I wanted to highlight on this page here. Let me see. Right, here we go, right here. You can also say to them being law enforcement, with all due respect, you are breaking the law, and I do not wish to participate in breaking the law with you. You may not be able to get the effect on the spot from a policy enforcer. That's another thing. They'll use the term policy enforcer instead of police. They will probably find a pseudo reason to give you a ticket, summons, suit. It is more and more clear that they are the one who is breaking the law. It is imperative that you start suing and countersuing them. The ticket is a suit, so counter it. This idea, and then it speaks on you sending them a writ of error or a writ of discovery to the superior court, asking for the delegation. Can y'all see that? Let me zoom in. Yeah, let me zoom in on that. Can y'all see that? Yeah. And again, this is from RV Bay Publications under the section. What was the section called again? Failure to identify. So this is dealing with law enforcement, and they pull you over and they ask for identification. RV Bay Publications is teaching individuals, brothers and sisters, yeah, you don't have to identify yourself to policy enforcers or police. And also, this is what you can say to them, and this is what you can do. When they give you a ticket or a summons or a lawsuit, when they arrest you, this is what you can do in response. You can send them a writ of error, or also send a writ of discovery to the superior court asking for the delegation of authority, requesting any information you need to prepare a proper defense for yourself, including names and bond numbers of officers of the court. That right there, doing that, is what is classified as paper terrorism. It is a tactic identified by law enforcement that sovereign citizens use in retaliation, in terms of delaying the court and, trying to get out of following the law, basically. And this is RV Bay Publications teaching people that this is what they should do. And then they speak about, you can't have a trial without an injured party. These are all kinds of terms and phrases. I think that was all I wanted to show on this part of the page. This is driver license fraud. Yeah. These terms that I'm speaking about are terms that will get you classified as a Moorish sovereign citizen by law enforcement, not by Rami, not my belief. This is how they will classify you. I just wanted to come here. Right, here we go again. This is under, what was this one again? Driver license fraud. And here on driver's license fraud, it says, and this is RV Bay Publications, police, city, nor state can deprive natural people of their inalienable absolute right to travel. Pardon me. And then they give you a bunch of case law that they state to back up the belief that you have the right to travel without a license, without registration, any of that. You can just, because they feel and they espouse, they propagate, because you are a Moor, all you have to do is state who you are and that you are indigenous to the land and they are foreigners or whatever excuse that they give, and this is your right, and you should be able to just travel wherever you want, and no one can stop you or say anything to you. This is where those kinds of teachings come from. This website, RV Bay Publications, which is directly connected to Taj Tarik Bey, and they have been working together, at least according to her, since 20 years ago. So we're talking, late 90s, early 2000s. And Taj Tarik Bey has been propagating and pushing this information for about 40 years now. So that's how long this scam has been going. And that's why it's so complex. And why, if you are naive, if you don't know anything about this information and you get introduced to it and you believe that Taj Tarik Bey is telling the truth and that he's legitimate, it's easy to get caught up in all of this information. I'm able to understand and discern the difference and explain it because I've been studying and involved in this information for about 12 years now. And I once too was caught up in thinking and believing that this Taj Tarik Bey dude was speaking the truth, etc., etc. But I kept going back to what Noble Drew Ali said, because that's the foundation of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If there's anybody calling themselves a Moorish American, the foundation of your principles and the information that you get should come from Noble Drew Ali. Not saying that you should only listen to Noble Drew Ali and that's the only thing you should learn about, but when it comes to Moorish information, do not follow Taj Tarik Bey or RV Bey Publications or Sabir Bey or any of these rogue Moorish groups. Do not, because they are teaching this more sovereign citizen stuff, and I don't want you to get caught up. The driver's license. Oh, the houses. Did I do the houses? Was that on here? Mortgage myth. There we go. This is another example of a sovereign citizen tactic. And so it's under the category, the mortgage myth. But then, here we go. So, I don't even, let me see. Yeah, see, that didn't even work. Okay, cool. I can't mute that page, I think. I'm trying to, yeah, cool. Yeah, see, I ain't even trying to download this. It's looking real sketchy, so I don't want to download it. But under this mortgage myth section, it says it has documents that you can download. And and it says, let me read it. The document below is now in PDF, and it is a report on the rally that took place near Philadelphia Corporation. It is an excellent study tool for your overstanding of the mortgage myth, written by Taj Tarik Bey. Do you see the connection? This is all part of the scam. It's interweaving. Taj Tarik Bey will refer people to RV Bey Publications. But when you go to RV Bey Publications, it refers to Taj Tarik Bey. And it has Taj Tarik Bey's literature for sale. And then they have classes that's taught by Taj Tarik Bey. And then they spin you back to RV Bey Publications. And that is part of the scam. Getting your money, the classes, the products, the books, these nationality cards. We'll get to that in a second. It's about excellent information for your study. And after testing yourself for competence, then you are ready to issue to the bank, mortgage company, claimants, trustees, etc., the official correspondence found below the rally document named Foreclosure Writ Discovery. And it uses the term natural person that goes back to the sovereign citizen kind of buzzwords, speaks about corporate persons, again, back to that same thing. And this foreclosure writ of discovery, if you see at the bottom, can y'all see at the bottom? Yeah. The writ, once understood, can be used for any financial request or demand from you, including collection agencies. So this is one of those documents that they use and they tell other people to use so that you don't have to pay your debts or you don't have to pay your mortgage, and you can just stay there for free because you issued them a foreclosure writ of discovery. So that is, yeah, I'll just close that. Mortgage myth. And see, they have on the website about Noble Drew Ali, about CM Bay. And so you get the idea that, oh, this is legitimate. But all of this writs of freedom, quo warranto, averment of jurisdiction, jurisprudence, all of this stuff about taxes. Did I check out taxes before? Yeah, see, I don't even want to get into all of that. But that's just more sovereign citizen ideology and beliefs. And to summarize, that is why, and again, to be clear, all of that stuff that you've seen on the website, none of that is what Noble Drew Ali teaches about trying to challenge jurisdiction, about writ of foreclosure, discovery, mortgage myth. All of that nonsense is nothing that Noble Drew Ali talks about. And all of that will get you caught up and identified as a more sovereign citizen. So you have to be careful. Let me, before about an hour, so cool. Just wanted to send this out there one more time in case that gentleman from RV Bay Publications wanted to speak, because he seemed like he had a lot more on his chest to get off, so I wanted to give him the opportunity to speak. Was there any questions? Was there anything I wasn't clear about? Let me summarize here. I guess I'll just summarize in what the scam is. So the Moorish sovereign citizen scam, it is based on a lot of the information and the teachings of Taj Tarik Bey. And that's predicated on him identifying himself and others identifying him as a grand sheik. That title gives some legitimacy to what he says. It gives this air of he's an official, a leader in this Moorish movement, because grand sheik is the title of leaders in the Moorish Science Temple of America. However, Taj Tarik Bey is not a grand sheik. He is not the leader of any Moorish Science Temple of America, but he uses that to give himself legitimacy when he speaks about these sovereign citizen tactics and beliefs. He mixes it in with teachings from Noble Drew Ali and phrases and statements of Noble Drew Ali. And so you believe that it's legitimate. You believe that, oh, this is what Moors are supposed to be doing. But the truth is, it's not. He went as far as creating rogue organizations, multiple. The Great Seal, Moor Science Temple, or the Great Seal Organization, the Moors Order of the Round Table. He's connected with RV Bay Publications and plenty of other different rogue groups. And he uses those groups to platform himself and his message. He then espouses it, sends people to RV Bay Publications, which then has his literature for sale, and information, which then refers people back to Taj Tarik Bey. And then, this web has expanded over the past 40 years, and there's dozens of rogue Moor organizations and groups that are espousing the same teachings from Taj Tarik Bey. And that's why I'm addressing Taj Tarik Bey and RV Bay Publications, because they are two of the most prominent and central figures as it relates to the more sovereign citizen scam. I hope that was clear in terms of a summary, and if there was any questions. Here's a statement. This person, GOP, says rich and wealthy people travel without a plate and no identification. All right. No, but that's great for your opinion. I appreciate you sharing it. That's not really accurate, but um, yeah, I do appreciate you sharing your opinion. Any other questions? Where was it this? I think it was his most recent one. Let me open this up because I'm gonna show you. Here we go. I wanted to show you all an example in real time of the manipulation. And see, I caught this person who's a representative of RV Bay Publications. And I'm going to show you because I was speaking to him live. And one of the tactics that you see often with more sovereign citizens is they cannot and often will not answer direct questions. They'll always deflect, answer questions that you didn't ask them, change the conversation, ask you the question to redirect the conversation because they aren't truthful. They aren't honest. And when you ask them direct questions, you can start to cut through the slick talk and you can realize, oh, they're lying. Like, for example, with Taj Tarik Bey, I spoke to him directly via online. And I was only able to ask him one direct question, or two. I asked him, was he an official Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America? He said, yes, I went through the chambers in Baltimore. Now, that answer was slick because I didn't ask, did you go through the chambers? I asked, are you an official Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America? But he said yes. So then I said, which temple? And he said, oh, that's not important. You see, deflecting, because now we're getting to the facts, objective facts that you can verify for yourself. You don't know which temple because he's not an official Grand Sheik. Another question that you can ask Taj Tarik Bey, can he please give you one lawsuit, the name of one lawsuit, one case where he was applying this information and he came out victorious? Just ask him for the case name and the case number. And then you can see and research it for yourself. Surely he's won a case with the mastery of knowledge over the past 40 years, right? That seems logical, right? He should easily be able to provide that, yes? That's up to you if you really want to ask and find the answer. I found that oftentimes people are not prepared to deal with the truth. Any questions? Oh man, it's like right on time. Let's see here. Let me zoom in. Okay, cool. Before I get to the video, C. Birch says, I have a question. Considering you disavow all the sovereign citizen aspects of what people call Moors, thank you, then what then does being a Moor mean to you? Man, that's a great question. I'll answer it in a roundabout way. It's not to avoid the question. It's just to present a analogy. Hopefully you're understanding where I'm coming from. I don't call European people white the same way I don't call myself or other people black. Because when I call European people white, it paints over all of the history and the culture and the heritage and the uniqueness and the beauty that comes with though that individual and their family and their heritage. When I was in college, I had a roommate, my man JM, who I thought was white. But I asked him because he had a flag up and he explained that he was Basque. And then he had taught, me some history about ask people, and I was like mind blown. And then I had our additional side roommate who was quote unquote white. My man Connor was Irish, and he taught me about Irish history and some Irish traditions. Um, and this was prior to me learning about anything Moorish. So I had already begun to understand, don't identify people as white because there's different cultures. Then I went to Switzerland for a week in Basel. Um, and that blew my mind about all the culture that was in Switzerland and the different language and the history. And oh man, one second. Just I just thought about it. I know this is a long answer. But I just thought about it as I'm talking. This is the glass I got from this brew house in Switzerland. Super cool story. I don't want to get into the story, but really cool brother. Um, Actually, long story short, he stood up to some thugs that were trying to take over the businesses on this street, and then he also got prostitutes off the street and allowed them to work for him, and then room and board there so that they didn't have to, like, super cool. Anyways, my point being, as I grew and I learned about different cultures, I began to appreciate the different cultures and the different European countries and histories and all of that. And once I learned about this Moorish aspect, now coming to answer your question, it finally made sense why we're not black and who we actually are. In the same way that white paints over all the different beautiful European brothers and sisters and the different cultures and history of those brothers and sisters, black also paints over the history and the culture and the language and the uniqueness and the beauty and the different kinds of people. Um, and so, to answer your question, what does being more mean to me? It is identifying with the heritage and the culture and the true identity of my people that was our identity before we were enslaved. Um, the term black, the term Negro, the term colored, African American, Black American, Negro American. I feel like I'm missing one other one. Person of color. All of those terms, this is not to dismiss the history, but all of those terms connect back basically to slavery. And that title doesn't do a justice to the heritage of my ancestors and the history of my people. Um, and that knowledge, you know, what I've learned in this journey connects me to brothers and sisters in Europe, and connects me to brothers and sisters in Southern and Central America and all over the world. And then you start to understand it really is one big family, a bunch of different one big race. Let me say that, a bunch of different families inside the human race. Um, I hope that answers the question. I know that was a long answer. Um, okay, right. Italians, yeah. Other white people don't consider Italians white for a long time. Correct. And the truth of the matter is, once you start to learn another person's history and their culture, and you understand some of the family traditions and some of the music, uh, like just different, the unique dress, what I mean, the unique traditions of a people, at least for myself, I'll speak. I don't want to speak for everybody, but for myself, I start to love and connect with people more, you know, um, whatever the culture or the people is. And I believe, that's part of what's central about Noble Drew Ali's teachings, to love instead of hate. And I feel if we learned how to love each other more, as corny as it sounds and as like idealistic as it sounds, but if we truly made an effort to love more instead of hating, we would solve a lot of these issues. Oh man, I'm gonna write that down. That's a beautiful quote. We don't all have to be the same, but also we are all the same. Mm. Man, I'm glad I did this thing today, because I was thinking about doing it on the weekend, but I want to spend some time with my family and mom's on Sunday. So I said, I'll get it out the way today. And I'm glad I went with my intuition and gut on that, because it is teaching me some things. Um, oh my goodness. Word. I appreciate the answer, so I definitely have love for the question. Indeed. And I sincerely appreciate the question too. Thank you for the question. Um, okay, so but so it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with actual Morocco. Um, yes and no. Without getting too deep into it, there is connections to Morocco. Um, there's connections to Morocco in terms of our history, and some of our ancestors. Man, this is a challenging question. Some of our ancestors are connected to Moors in that history in Spain or Andalusia, North Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Mauritania, all of that. That's not to say that all of us came from that location, but there is a connection between those people then and people here in America today that are seen as quote unquote black or Negro. It's actually a much more nuanced and it's a more of a lengthy discussion in terms of looking at different texts, studying history. You know, this is getting into studying Islamic history, studying into the history of Spain, the history of Morocco, also the history of the Americas before 1492. And that gets a bit difficult in terms of sources that we can rely on. Um, I say all of that to say that it does have something to do with Morocco, but to clarify, more sovereign citizens, they often use the treaty, the treaty between treaty of peace and friendship, and they use Morocco as a tool to try to justify or to try to explain why they don't have to be subject to the laws in the United States. And that's not the connection that I'm speaking about. I hope that's kind of, I know it's a, I appreciate the question. It's a much more nuanced question than I wasn't necessarily prepared to really flesh out that question today. But I hope that kind of clarified a little bit. And yes, does the use of the term Moor have anything to do with the fact that most quote unquote Black Americans don't know exactly where in Africa they came from? Yes, and that is part of that is part of what Noble Drew Ali explains, is that uh, our ancestry, the history of who we were, our name, our religion, our faith was stripped away from us when we, and then the labels or the brands Negro, Black, and slaves was placed on us. And over time, we lost the connection to who we were, and we assumed and took on this identity of Black. But Black doesn't actually connect you back to any real history. Neither does Negro, neither does colored or person of color or African American. Afro American, that was the other term I was forgetting. Come on, man. Who is this? Sorry, I didn't realize that person spamming in the comments. I wanted to show. I wanted to show. What was I appreciate the questions. It was something I wanted to show. It was the manipulation. It was the manipulation. That's right. I wanted to show an example of how more sovereign citizens try to manipulate Noble Drew Ali's teachings to justify their sovereign citizen beliefs. And this example I'm going to show you is a very crafty one that most people don't pick up on, have any clue what's going on. But it's the foundation of a lot. Let me see here. Let's see here. Zone here. It is the foundation. Oops, sorry. There we go. The term or the phrase that I'm about to call this more sovereign citizen person who's actually connected to RV Bay Publications, I'm about to call him out on a particular phrase that they use. He and Taj Tarik Bey and RV Bay Publications and Lamont Butler L, I think it is. He has this whole entire rogue organization called Enforce the Constitution. He's been arrested several times, practicing the sovereign citizen tactics and beliefs and getting others caught up in it as well. But I'm going to highlight and I'm going to catch him in a manipulation tactic because he's already been trying it. And I caught him before. But this one is more specific because it is one that Taj Tarik Bey speaks on and uses often, and many people echo it. And it say the phrase that they try to use is, "Oh, Noble Drew Ali told Moors to enforce the Constitution." That's the paraphrasing it, in a nutshell, is that they will say Noble Drew Ali. That's part of the scam to give it the validity. Because if you believe Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, you should believe what comes after. So Noble Drew Ali said for Moors to enforce the Constitution. That's what Taj Tarik Bey and others like him, more sovereign citizens, that's what they'll espouse. But did Noble Drew Ali actually say that? That's the key. That's the key. And what I do with this guy here is I catch him writing a lie, and he's not able to wiggle up out of it. But this is towards the end of our conversation anyway, and that's why I couldn't let him get away and slime and slither his way out of the conversation without catching him on this. And this is a way also for young brothers and sisters that are just learning about this. This is your first time maybe watching, or just people in general. You can ask them, did Noble Drew Ali say for Moors to enforce the Constitution? Yes or no? Just ask them and see if they answer the question directly. It's a very simple answer. I'm telling you, no, he did not say that. And I can show you the evidence and where they're taking that term and where they're trying to manipulate it. But before we get there, I want to put this guy, I want to show you this example of this gentleman here. Let me see here. Let me get out the way. Wow. I see that comment spinning period. I just seen that. Just second. 1 second.
You act like Noble Dry Leader.
Before you go, good brother, I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Please stop scamming people. If you want to take advantage, you know what I mean? It's not wise. I wouldn't advise it.
Bro, listen.
But I would say,
stop slandering me, bro.
I would say
stop slandering me. I never.
Just to give you some context, here's many of these Moorish sovereign citizens. They cannot just have a civil conversation, and when it's my turn to speak, they often interrupt me, and other people, not just myself, because they don't want people to hear the thoughts very clearly without interruption, because then you can start to see, oh, this person is just lying. And he's trying to wiggle his way and talk in circles, and what you're going to see in a second, me call it out.
Never scammed anyone, bro. I never scammed. Y'all the ones who ducking this Noble Dry Ali conversation are the ones scamming people, because you're not in the Moorish Science Temple of America. You got a hip hop temple, and your man's here already tried it with the Two-Face sister, and you know what I mean. Whatever y'all try to do to slanderers, bro, it is what it is. That's on y'all. I'm just saying, I'm not ducking the Noble Dry Ali conversation. You just did that on your live, bro. You don't want to talk about why he said there's no need for the application of the 14th Amendment. I haven't scammed anyone in my life, bro. Ever.
You just tried it. You just tried it here.
Nah, never. I didn't. I came on here to be real with you. You've been talking a lot. You've been talking big stuff, bro. And I'm saying this comes from Noble Dry Ali. You don't want to talk about Noble Dry Ali.
Any other questions before you go?
No, what your man's got to say? Why he tap in?
No,
was it for me? Because I'm here. If you got something to say.
Before you get to him, I'm right here, good brother.
You don't want to say, you don't want to talk about what I'm trying to talk about. I mentioned Noble Dry Ali in the 14th Amendment, and why did he say that multiple times? And you keep spinning the conversation. You want to insult and slander me.
You know why?
Stop scamming and all this ain't nothing to do with a scam.
Sure.
I'm saying Noble Dry Ali said that. Are you calling Noble Dry Ali a scammer?
I'm calling RV Bey Publications scammers.
Okay, and I'm calling you a scammer. And I'm calling you a scammer.
What have I scammed? What have I scammed?
You instituted an international Asiatic Moorish hip hop temple, bro.
Okay.
All right. What does that have to do with Noble Dry Ali? You create, and you're talking about CM Bay.
That's a different question.
I'm not saying
that's a different question. Let's get to the.
You slandered me. You slandered me.
Who I scammed?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's get
happy and all that.
You headed to the 6th. You going up to Toronto,
huh? No, I'm from the East Coast, bro. Hey, and I heard you Cali dudes like to run the fade.
Man, don't say you're like us. Huh?
Get you a hip hopper.
Yeah, don't seem like you don't seem like
I'm giving them out too. You know what I'm saying?
Are you my friend? See, are we locked in to do that? So it lets me know what kind of character, what kind of person you are, and that's okay, good brother. It's no.
Where I'm coming from with this perspective.
You see, that's the difference. That's the difference between you and I, good brother.
That's jurisdiction.
Right here.
If Noble Dry Ali's statement is conflicting or hypocritical, say that. But you blaming us, we took it for what it is in the divine warning to the
one last thing for you. So right there is when it hit me. I was like, one last thing before you go. I was like, I just got to ask it. Right there was this the moment I asked him about this phrase, enforce the Constitution. Sorry it took us so long to get here. But listen closely. Here you go. Did Noble Dry Ali say to enforce the Constitution?
He was calling on those who stood for the enforcement. Hold up.
Did he? You see what happened? I asked him, did Noble Dry Ali say to enforce the Constitution? It's a yes, he did say it. No, he did not say it. Direct question. Very simple. Objective. We can verify this. Yes or no. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit so y'all can hear it again. Man, I'm glad I asked him this question. One more time.
Where I'm coming from with this perspective. So Noble Dry Ali said there's no need for the application of the 14th Amendment. If you read that, that's jurisdiction. If Noble Drew Ali's statement is conflicting or hypocritical, say that. But you blaming us. We took it for what it is in the divine warning to the nation.
One last thing before you go. Did Noble Drew Ali say to enforce the Constitution?
He was calling on those who stood for the enforcement. Hold up.
Did he?
Yes or no? Let's get to it, because I find, brother, that you was a little insincere. You've been a little insincere with taking a misquote as a flat out lie.
And what I'm saying is this.
Hold on. Let me say this, and I'll step out your way. Noble Drew Ali was calling on all of those who stood for the enforcement of a free national constitution and government.
Did Noble Drew Ali say for Moors to enforce
the Constitution or not?
No, he didn't.
To the people who was about that life.
You see, that's the difference. That's the difference between you and I, good brother.
All right, so let it be made clear. It's a difference between us.
Oh man, you see how difficult it was? He couldn't admit it. The reason why he couldn't just answer the question, no, Noble Drew Ali did not say for Moors or for anyone to enforce the Constitution. He couldn't answer truthfully, not because he didn't know, but because now he's on the record and it goes directly against what Taj Tarik Bey has been saying. It goes directly against their scam. He couldn't admit to it because he's part of RV Bey Publications, part of the whole scam. But you ain't got to believe me. Go look it up for yourself. Go see for yourself what Noble Drew Ali said. He never once told Moors, you need to enforce the Constitution. Moorish Americans need to enforce the Constitution. You need to enforce the Constitution. He never said that. Taj Tarik Bey will use those words. Sabir Bey will use those words. Lamont Butler will use those words. All of these more sovereign citizen groups, the people in Canada, the USAR, the AMPAC, even some people that the Great Seal groups, all of these people will use these phrases that are manipulated and lies, sometimes just outright lies, to convince you to believe in these more sovereign citizen tactics. But I am asking you, true Moorish Americans, do not believe those teachings of Taj Tarik Bey or RV Bey Publications or Mantis Views 29 or any of these more sovereign citizens, these more scammers. Don't follow their teachings. It leads to a bad road. You don't want to go down that road. Dang, it's 11. All right, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's kind of late. Any other questions? Because I feel like I summed that up, and I wanted to show that video. One, because that guy that I was speaking to is connected to RV Bey Publications, and then also to show you the example in real time. When you ask them a direct question, they cannot just answer, especially when that answer, the truth, blows up their whole scam. And that answer, he couldn't answer it because he knew if I say, yeah, Noble Drew Ali never said that. Now, Taj Tarik Bey is saying he did. Sabir Bey is saying he did. This person that you talk with all the time saying to do this. So what is it? Why are you telling people that this is what Noble Drew Ali said and he didn't say that? Because it's part of the scam, brothers and sisters. That's why. They're scamming you. They're lying to you. This is, with love. It's not any hate towards RV Bey Publications or the Mizraim brother or Taj Tarik Bey or Sabir Bey or none of that. No hate. It's all love. But I have to be honest, and I have to let the people know those are liars. They are not being honest with you. This is just the truth. Oh, well, Rami is scamming. What am I scamming? What am I selling anyone? Nothing. I'm not telling you to subscribe, a comment. There's no donation button. I'm not scamming anybody. This is just the honest truth. And they don't like that, and I understand that. And we can correct it by just being honest. It's all right. This was a mistake. We were wrong. We apologize. We want to make amends. We want to get right. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's going to be okay. We just got to be honest with ourselves and start doing what's right. Because following them teachings of Taj Tarik Bey has only led to people being injured and harmed and going to jail and getting killed and confusion and a bunch of negative. You know, it's nothing that's helping. And we just got to be real about that. Any other questions? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, some of these folks don't understand what a sincere discussion or debate looks like, or how to respect another person when they're talking, even if you don't agree with them. But it's all right. We're going to get there. Bro, who is this? This is another one of those. Oh, yeah, let me highlight this real quick. I seen this comment, spinning pyramid. I have records going to my great-great-grandfather in the Civil War. He went from free white person to mulatto, Negro, black, then African American within 30 years. Yeah, yeah. See, and I don't, that's a deep conversation. You know, that's a deep conversation. Um, I don't even want to get too much into that, except for to say um, that is why, you know, there's a surface level to why I'm doing this, which is to make it clear the distinction between Moorish Americans and the Moorish sovereign citizens, you know, and to clarify for this immediate stuff. But the deeper thing is to get Moorish Americans or Moors redirected back to the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. And that is because when we truly get to those teachings, it, in my sincere belief and opinion, it really heals not only black people, but also quote unquote white people of this mental enslavement that we're all trapped in, and where we attach all of these stereotypes and, you know, the trauma and all of these history that may not even apply to that person whatsoever, but because you put that title white or that label white and they identify us as black, it's like all of this like tension, this manufactured and all of this stuff that prevents us from actually getting to know each other and actually understanding we're here to work together and to live in harmony. And we don't have to hate each other, even if we don't agree on everything or most things. You know what I mean? But, you know, there is a common thread and an understanding that I feel we can get to when we really get to the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. But that requires some work for us to do. You know what I mean? But I say all that to say I appreciate the comment, because I think when we start having more discussions with each other, when we go back some, you know, some ways in our lineage, we'll see, well, shoot, man, that's like somehow we're connected with family. Oh, that happened to my cousin, or that's my auntie's story. Oh, my sister went through the same thing. You know, her grandma, and we understand, oh man, we relate to each other much more than we realize, you know? Oh man, I thought I seen, how can I get info? IAMHH Temple at Gmail. Email me there. As far as, let me put the question up. How can I get info on your temple? To clarify, because in that video, the RV Bay Publications dude, Mantis Views, he was saying, oh, well, you got the hip hop temple. And, you know, how can you, I forget exactly what he said, but basically it was an attempt to attack my credibility by redirecting the conversation towards me and not about the question. And it wasn't for me trying to avoid the question, but to keep him on task on answering that objective question. All of that being said, when I created this when I created this YouTube page, I was under the impression that, okay, the temples are corrupt. This is again the context, listening to Taj Tarik Bey, listening to some other people I don't even feel like naming, but Taj Tarik Bey being the main one, I believed, oh, if I am doing things that's in line with Noble Drew Ali, I can incorporate things and be creative. And so I created this online temple, International Asiatic Hip Hop Temple, Moorish Temple, which was supposed to be a subordinate temple, the Moorish Science Temple. Long story short, the temple doesn't actually exist other than the name on the channel. I do plan on creating an official chapter of the Moorish Science Temple or a branch temple out here in the Bay Area in California. And at that time, I can give you some information on the temple. But I want to do it the right way. I know that was a really long answer, but I just wanted to address it because people will try to use, oh, well, how can you listen to Rami? He got this hip hop temple. What is that? Noble Drew Ali didn't create that. And I don't want to make it seem as though I'm trying to avoid the question. They don't really want to hear the answer because it just calls them out more. I'm able to admit, oh, I was mistaken. Great intentions, you know what I mean? Great effort. I did it the wrong way. There's a procedure and a process that you're supposed to follow if you want to do it officially. Once I realized that, I backtracked, and that's why you don't see me saying, oh, this is a temple meeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, with the hip hop temple. Just because I'm not going to go about it the wrong way now that I understand that's not the right way to go about it. And the problem with me is that I'm able to admit it and they aren't, you know? And that's unfortunate, but it's all right. I just, you got to lead by example. You know what I mean? Sometimes show people that may be afraid to admit, hey, I made a mistake. And that's okay. We make mistakes. We got to improve. Peace, 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 peace. Was there any other questions? Word about the Temple of Hip Hop. Word, true indeed. Great question. Great question. So you don't have a nationality card. I forgot to cover that with RV Bay Publications. I don't feel like pulling up the website and getting into the specifics, just because I feel like I drove the point home enough with the website, so I don't want to belabor the point. I will say, in regards to RV Bay Publication nationality cards, Moorish Americans, true Moorish Americans, do not support and buy those and think that those are legitimate, because they are not. RV Bay Publications is not a governmental organization or entity whatsoever for Moorish Americans in any capacity. They're not connected to the Moorish Science Temple of America, so it's not even official in regards to being aligned with Noble Drew Ali. If you do want a nationality card, you can join the Moorish Science Temple of America organization, but do not support and do not buy from RV Bay Publications thinking that that's some sort of government ID or any other rogue Moorish organization. Get into your question. Do I have a nationality card? I do not. No, I do not. I do not. I am not. At least, especially. Let me clarify. I do not have a RV Bay Publications nationality card. No. Threw that away some time ago. I do have a nationality card as a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But that is something that's more so about the membership to the organization. It is not a government ID. It is not a get out of jail free card. It is not a right to travel card. It is not a, I'm trying to think of the rest of the sovereign citizen stuff. It isn't a, I show this and now I can own a home without paying for a card or anything like that. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, I don't see any other questions. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that question about getting pulled over. Definitely not a sovereign citizen. Yeah, definitely not a sovereign citizen or a Moorish sovereign citizen or a Moorish national. Oh, that's what I was supposed to show. Moorish nation. Dang. Because on that website, on the RV, I don't feel like going back to it, but on the RV Bay publication, dang, I sort of need to though. Forget it. But if you go to the RV Bay Publications website about Noble Drew Ali section, it is writings from Taj Tarik Bey, and in that writing, he says that Noble Drew Ali was addressing the quote unquote Moorish nation, but Noble Drew Ali never used that language, and in fact, that language of a Moorish nation was on the list of buzzwords for sovereign citizens. So that just was another example of how the teachings of Taj Tarik Bey is connected with RV Bay Publications, which is connected with more sovereign citizen scams and beliefs. I know it's like I wish I should have had a chart or something, you know what I mean? So we can see the graphics next to it and you can see the diagram and see how it's all connected. Because it may be a lot to hold in your mind. But if you just run this back and like sketch it out, you can understand how all of this is connected. Sabir Bey, Abdullah Bey, all of those newspapers that they were selling, none of which was a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All the books, none of which are a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All of this stuff is scams and ways to get your money, but it's not actually helping the cause or helping uplift Moorish Americans. It's only fattening their pockets. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it, unfortunately. Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, questions. Okay, so Belizean King, you asked who are the Saracens? With questions like that, um, I would say for you to go check it out for yourself. Type in a search, an internet search website, Yahoo, Google, whatever you choose. Who are the Saracens? Or define Saracens, or get an actual physical dictionary and go look up the word Saracens for yourself. Not because I don't want to answer the question, but I've learned that it's oftentimes more helpful to look up the information for yourself. And then you can verify it for yourself. Um, Especially with questions like that, that's pretty simple. Um, but they are connected. Just to answer the question, they're connected to Moors, and also the term Berbers or North Africans. But that history is nuanced as well and layered, and requires looking at a lot of different sources. Some of which are in different languages that we may or may not have the translations for. So it gets complicated if you really want to get specific. What you think about Kush Day? He is. I don't use that term, his name much, but he is another example of a more sovereign citizen or a more scammer. Um, he espouses that same ideology from Taj Tarik Bey, which is just sovereign citizen beliefs. And I don't watch his programming and lectures or whatever and teachings, but I'm almost certain that he'll use the phrase enforce the Constitution or de facto government or challenge the jurisdiction or challenge the authority or right to travel or what's one treaty. I'm almost guaranteed, like I don't bet, actually. I don't want to get that but I'm almost certain that if I just picked a random video and wrote down those terms, within 30 minutes I would hear it mention 2 or 3 of them. So no disrespect to the brother, love as a human being, but the things that he teaches is more that more sovereign citizen stuff. Kush Day, Kush Day teaches the more sovereign citizen beliefs, and more of that Taj Tarik Bey stuff that is just confusing and misleading brothers and sisters out here. I hope that answers that one. Man, what's up? I mean, I guess it is late, so I can see why, some of these folks. Yeah. So this person said, this individual in Canada says Islam stands for I, self, law, and master, not Islam like the Muslim in the East. And that idea of Islam being an acronym for I, self, law, and master, or I, self, law, and master, that also came from Taj Tarik Bey. It's more sovereign citizen beliefs. Noble Drew Ali. Here's a question that you can ask Taj or the person in Canada or Sabir or Kush Day or whomever. Simply ask them, where did Noble Drew Ali say that Islam stands for I, self, law, and master? Or where did Noble Drew Ali refer to Islam as I, self, law, and master? Or where did Noble Drew Ali simply use the terms I, self, law, and master all together like that? Ask them that question. Then it becomes objective because they should just simply be able to point to you where Noble Drew Ali said that. Peep game, they won't be able to answer. They won't be able to give you that because Noble Drew Ali never said that. And when you ask them direct questions like that, it's easier to cut through the BS and see and clearly that they're lying to you, that they're trying to scam you. I hope that answered the question. Yeah. Any other questions before I get up out of here? I appreciate the questions. As I get up, I'm trying to think, is there something that I could read in here? Let's see. I'll just read in the last chapter in the Circle 7 Quran. It's the pamphlet or literature that Noble Drew Ali brought for Moorish Americans or members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. One of the last 2 lines in the book, it says, "Come all ye Asiatic of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the families of nations. We honor all the true and divine prophets." I'm glad I read that, just to highlight one last thing in a way that you can distinguish the Moorish scammers and the Moorish sovereign citizens from true Moorish Americans, is because the Moorish sovereign citizens and the Moorish scammers like Taj Tarik Bey, like Kush Day, like Sabir Bey, they want to move you away from the religious or the spiritual aspect of the teachings. They don't want to focus on you actually reading, what's in this pamphlet. They don't want you to hear a phrase like, "We honor all the true and divine prophets," and to really reflect on what that means. Because now that means we should be identifying with people of different, maybe of a different faith. Maybe the Christians that have faith and believe in Jesus, which is one of the divine prophets. And we should honor and respect them. Now there's not a division between us, but now there's a common base for understanding, for love, so we can build together as family. These more sovereign citizens, they don't want to establish that. They want to create these silos and these cult-like groups or these rogue organizations, and sometimes feel themselves superior than people that are Christians or believe in religion whatsoever. So I just wanted to highlight that, and again to say, study the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, because when you do, then you realize we have to study more than just what he said. We have to study about Jesus, and we have to study about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and all of the different true and divine prophets, Noah and John and Abraham and Moses and all of the different prophets. I don't know all of them, so forgive me, but my point being is that with that knowledge and understanding, we can have more unity and more love instead of hate and division. Yes, separatists. That's the word that I was looking. I was trying to think of the word. I appreciate the comment. They seem more like separatists. Absolutely. These more sovereign citizen groups and these rogue Moorish organizations like RV Bay Publications and the Great Seal and Moore's Order of the Round Table, that's Taj Tarik Bey's kind of groups. All of these groups are more focused on this separatist idea, and that is not what Noble Drew Ali taught whatsoever. He actually said very clearly we're supposed to live in harmony with all the rest of the American citizens in this beautiful country. He actually was not talking down and wanting to destroy and try to overthrow the United States. Noble Drew Ali actually wanted us to become patriots, to become better citizens of this country. And that just shows you how far we've gone off the path from what he actually taught. But it's okay. It's okay because the truth is the truth. We just got to get back on the right path. You know what I mean? We didn't veer off. GPS wasn't working or whatever. Rise of the Moors. Yes, yes. Oh man. Dang. I kind of want to show that actually. Dang, I meant to show that. I appreciate the comment because this is like we kind of long since are done with the conversation, but it was important for me to highlight. You just brought the memory. Dang. I'm trying to find. I don't think I'm gonna find it now. Dang, I apologize. So I was looking into the sovereign citizen stuff, and dang, why I'm frustrated is because the document that I was reading, it was actually showing a little more detail within the sovereign citizen umbrella and how there was effectively those that were using paper terrorism and like non-violent kind of or like civic sovereign citizens, and then there was this militia aspect of sovereign citizens, and I found that really interesting, the two different kind of groups within the sovereign citizen umbrella, only because the Rise of the Moors group was one of the groups that combined the legal civic aspect of sovereign citizens or the paper terrorism aspect, as well as the militia, having guns and all of that aspect together. So I found that really interesting. And I was trying to find, because I don't really like speaking on it without the context so you can see for yourself. I tell you what, if I can remember, I don't even want to lie to you. I doubt I'm gonna remember after I'm done with this live. So I kind of want to find it before I'm done with this. But I'm gonna give it a couple of, like another minute or two. If I can't find it, then I apologize. But it is. I'm not just speaking, just my opinion. It was actually something that was there. Dang, man. I don't think I'm gonna find it either. Yeah. Yeah, it's a raps. It's a rapidy, I think. Yeah, any last questions before I get up out of here? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, any last questions? No, that wasn't it. Dang. Is this it? No. Nah, this is not it. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm gonna give up on that one today. Dang. Yeah, dang. I don't want to give up, but yeah, I'm gonna just give up. I gave up. I give up on that one. My apologies, y'all. Any last questions before I get up out of here? True, true. What is the said government? Um, what do you mean said government in what context? Email is iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Just like all one word, iamhhtemple@gmail. Yeah, what is the said Act 5 in the Divine Constitution? Oh. Um okay, yeah, and just for clarity, as a matter of fact, I'll pull it up on the screen. For clarity, for those that don't know, when you may hear Taj Tarik Bey or Rise of the Moors or Enforce the Constitution, Lamont Butler L, Cush Day, you may hear them talk about the Divine Constitution and the Act 5 or Act 6 or Act 3. They'll throw out these kind of phrases and terms. When they say Divine Constitution, the full term is coming Divine Constitution and Bylaws for the Moorish Science Temple of America, the organization. So it is the rules or the laws that members of the Moorish Science Temple of America are supposed to follow. It is not a constitution for all Moorish Americans or all Moors to just simply follow whoever you are, wherever you are. But some people will use that, and some people will try to use that and say, "This is the law that I am." Like these are the laws that I have to abide by. I'm not subject to your constitution. I have my own constitution. And that's complete nonsense. But to get to your question, Act 5, it says, dang, it's kind of small text. Let me see if I could. Yeah, Act 5 says, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. So it's talking about the government that this organization is under, the United States of America. Did that clarify things? Did that clarify things for you? I'm gonna assume yes. Just waiting. Okay, cool. Yeah, like when it says said, that's like a what's the term? It's like man, it's like I know what said means, but to explain the actual definition, said is named or mentioned before, aforementioned. Simple past tense of past particle of say. The party to the contract subsequently breached said contract. So it's like Noble Drew Ali mentioned or spoke about this United States government and how we're supposed to obey the laws and respect the government. And then Act 5 is just reinforcing that we're supposed to obey the laws and we're not supposed to overthrow, the government, but to, dang, I just had it was but to obey. Man, I should be able to recite that. I'm tired. I mean that's no excuse, but it's just the reality. Not to cause any confusion. That's important. Not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government or aforementioned government, which would be the United States of America, but to obey hereby. So it's just Noble Drew Ali emphasizing even further, like in very explicit, plain language, in no way, shape, form, or fashion should the Moorish Science Temple of America be trying to overthrow or cause confusion with the United States of America. But we actually are supposed to be obeying the law. Like it made it crystal clear. That's supposed to be a law that we follow as members or as Moorish Americans, a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Yeah, it makes a big difference. And that's also why you don't hear Taj Tarik Bey and these other Moorish sovereign citizens covering these things and what Noble Drew Ali actually said, and how we're supposed to apply it. Instead, they take some of what Noble Drew Ali has said, they mix it in with their own thing, and they present it to you like it's legitimate. Then you believe it and you act on what they told you. And then when it blows up in your face and you go back like, yo, I tried it and it didn't work, what they will tell you is, oh, you didn't study enough. You have to study more. And if that one doesn't work, then they'll say, oh, that was just a test. This is it's a de facto government. Of course, they're not gonna honor the law. They're criminals. So that's just the test that you have to go through. My point being, they'll continue making excuses instead of just admitting that what they're saying is a lie and a fraud and a scam, because they can't really tell you that. Man, I think I'm done for the evening. I appreciate the comments, man. I appreciate y'all staying up, man. It's kind of late. And man, rocking on Friday night, learning, getting some clarity. And for the most part, man, really respectful as a couple of trolls, but I really appreciated the questions and the build. So thank you. I hope, for the Moors out there watching, Moorish Americans, I hope this provided some more clarity. Double back, check it again. everything that I said that was correct and right and righteous, that really comes from our Creator. Any mistakes that I made, that's on me. My apologies. I can correct those. Please study Noble, and also not just Moors, but people that are watching that are not Moors, just brothers and sisters in general. I hope after listening to some of this and watching this, you can start to see, the difference between actual Moorish Americans and these sovereign citizen Moors, or more sovereign citizens, or like the scammers like Taj Tarik Bey. And we're going to continue to work to make that distinction more clear, and more apparent. And, God willing, our example will be bright enough that the people that are scamming will just kind of fade away. With that, I think that's it. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. Even the more scammers out there and the more sovereign citizens, love to you too. Don't really agree with what you're doing, but love to you too. And let's all have a great day. All right. Peace and love.